Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Ooh, got a little bit of a darkness going today. Well, I just wanted to pop on here today because I promised myself I would be consistent in days. I didn't say anything about what time. I've done it in the morning, I've done it at lunch, and now I think it's 2:30 or 3. I'm not even sure of the time, but I'm here and I am going to talk a little bit. So today, I had a chance to. The community I'm part of, we actually we're doing a thing on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a new social media app, and I always describe it like walking into a party where it was completely dark, and you have conversations. So that's what it's all about. It's all audio. It's like listening to a podcast, but you're actually most of the time you're able to participate. You get invited up on the stage and things like that. Well, we've started doing them. I host one at 1 o'clock on Mondays in Central Time. And so last week I did one on being triggered. And today we had one that was really, really, really good. Talking about how you get into your bottom strengths and how you get out of them. So those of you that have sort of picked up on what I'm talking about the last few days, is I've been discussing the Gallup Strengths Finders assessment. And the assessment is actually you take the test and it comes out in a list of 34 strengths. And so I've been talking a little bit about a couple of my top 10 strengths. I've talked about my connectedness. I've talked about woo. I actually talked a little bit about communication because that's why I'm here, because I love to communicate. Sorry, it's a little warm today. Got the fan going, a little humid. So if I start to sweat, it's not because I'm nervous, it's because it's just a little hotter than what we're used to yet. So, but getting back to the subject, I love to communicate my thoughts and ideas and let you know what's going on. So today's Clubhouse that I was in, we talked about our bottom strengths, and your bottom is 29 to 34, and it's where you are least productive, you struggle. Even if you're required to do those things that are in your bottom 5 in your work, in your daily job, the job you're working right now, that's probably why you're not happy, because you're having to do things that aren't in your wheelhouse, as they say, aren't in the place where you can get the most power, the most creativity, the most traction in your life and be able to move forward. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the bottom and how I get out of it. Because this is a new thing I'm having to work on, because I catch myself falling back into the stories that come out of my bottom 5, the stories that I'm not enough, that I'm not good enough, that who I am is not normal or off or too big or too loud or just too much, and I talk too much, and whatever the bottom 5 tells other people that I am, I don't want to be that. Just plain and simple. So I have things like deliberative, where I have to be really slow in how I make decisions and move forward in my life. Context, have to dwell on the past to make a future decision. If I have to start sitting down and thinking about my past, sometimes I get wrapped up in the emotion of it and I can't get out of it. There's competition. I am competitive. Dang, put me on a field, girl or boy or whoever you are, I will kick your butt if I can. I may not be able to do it anymore, but I will play my best. I will get on a softball field back in the day, and I will be competitive when I want to win. But I don't need to be competitive in my daily life. I don't need to be being told to be like someone else to be like that person. I don't need that guidepost. I usually have my own. I don't need to look at someone else who's done really well for me to want to do well. So that gets me down in my bottom. And also it causes me to think about the past. It causes me to have to slow down and think about what I'm doing. And that's getting into your bottom 5. I also focus. I generally don't work on one thing at one time. I like to do a little bit of everything, right? And then analytical. Analytical is analyzing every little thing. I'm very analytical in my own way. I just don't choose to sit down and do it in a very regimented way. So when I find myself getting sort of down there, if I'm telling a story about my past and I feel myself, that emotion just welling up in me, I start to realize I got to get out of here. And I've been able to recognize it more. I probably knew I was in it before, but was so caught up in the emotion of it that I didn't know how. And because of what I'm learning in strengths and learning what my top 10 are, I even use down into my top 14 on a daily average. I'll use those outside my top 10. It's different for everyone. But I have to do something in my top 10 to get me out of my bottom. And a lot of it is reminding myself, because of my number 5 strength, my anchor strength, which is ideation, which is creativity at its best. It's seeing different thoughts and different ideas and bringing them together. I have to remind myself that I don't have to take my time to make a decision. I don't have to think about what I did in the past. More than likely, I've already thought about how I wanted to do it different, and I have it in my I call it my mental Rolodex. I have it there so I can, those of us who are old enough to know what a Rolodex is, it's a bunch of cards in a circle, and it used to put our phone numbers and addresses on it. So I put things in the slots, and I don't know where I put them sometimes. I just save them because I'm a learner. I love to learn everything. I love to collect information. I have input in my top 5, which is collecting things, thoughts, ideas, things, shoes, books, whatever it is for you. It could be cars. It could be people. I love to collect. So I actually have to allow myself a moment to take a step back and let that Rolodex just go flying a little bit, to start spinning it. And so I can actually let that problem get resolved by what I already have probably more than likely figured out years ago. Because if I've dealt with the problem and thought about it and went through it then, I know that most of us have already figured out how we're going to get it done better the next time. We just have to remind ourselves. So that's the thing I really try to do when I get into my bottom 5. And that's a terminology you may have never heard in your life. You may have heard about strengths. But this is something I'm learning. This is actually something I'm actually coaching people with now. I'm in the process of becoming certified, so I can actually help people. But truthfully, I didn't need the certification, because what I'm learning, I can already help somebody else and help them move past some of these things, these repetitive things, these chronic things that we do that get us into our bottom 5. And we want to learn to live authentically who we are. So what we do is about how we do it, not why we do it, or putting a misvalue, I don't know if that's a word or not, a value that's not there on how we feel and what, so we can actually take ourselves out of that feeling. Because, I know it's not just a female thing, it's a male thing too. We all get those dreadful thoughts that come in when somebody says the wrong thing to us. We have a flashback to an instance in our past. Our spouse says something. We remember what a spouse says. Our children, my nieces and nephews can say things to me that strike me and put me right back in like I'm a little girl all over again. So we all have different triggers. So this is how I'm learning to deal with it and to process and to be aware. And it's not anyone putting me in a box. I am learning to be uniquely authentic to how I do things. Because truthfully, in 7.8 billion people in the world, there's really only one me. There's only one you. There's only one Julie who stepped on here. There's only one Pete. And Lizeth, I see you're on here. I know there's only one you, because only one you could put up with one Julian, right? So this is new for me. I'm still learning, but it's amazing how it can change the trajectory of your life, give you a sense of peace, give you a sense of direction. It's helping me with my business. It's helping me learn to recognize leaders, because that's what I do. I recruit leaders for my business. I recruit people that want to change their lives and want to do things that mean something, that they can serve other people. I want to venture out, and right now it's been more national in recruiting, but I want to be international, an international recruiter, because I do work for a multi-million-dollar health and wellness company that's amazing. And so I want to use what I've learned in strengths to help other people connect with their strengths, and then in turn connect with their potential and what they can do in the future and what they can do right now to change their lives. So gonna stop. I'm not gonna go. I could ramble for days because if you get to know me, I have communication very high, and I can talk, and I can talk, and I want to see everyone be their best because I want to be my best. Dadgummit, I want to, I'm important too, just as much as you. I want to be the best person I can be so I can serve the people I need to serve, can serve my God the way he deserves to be served, serve my family, serve the people around me, serve my community. I know most people want to take care of other people in this world. And I want to help you find that. Find yourself so you in turn can find that in the rest of your world. So I want to thank you. I'm trying to be consistent. I'll try to get on here. It may not be the same every time, every day. It's according to what my schedule leans to. I don't do the same thing every day, which I love, but it gets to be where it's hard to book in exactly what I want to do. So thanks for watching. Today is Thursday. Oh my gosh, the week's almost over. So I hope you guys are having a slow roll into the weekend. And with all this weather changing, I hope everyone's staying safe. And I want to thank you very much for showing up today. Bye.